Alright, this is going to be a quick video to show you how to make a paper loom. And a loom is a tool used for weaving. So this loom, a lot of times looms are a frame, or they can actually look like kind of a whole machine that can take up quite a bit of a room. This loom is going to not only be the loom, but it's also going to be the warp that we're going to weave on, and I'll explain what I mean when we get there. So I've got a piece of paper, and I have it in portrait orientation, so it's tall and skinny, not short and fat, and we're going to fold it hamburger way, or you could say horizontally if you know you're quite mature like that. So now my paper looks like this. It's not quite wanting to fit in my frame. That's okay. So the next thing I'm going to do is some measuring. I have a ruler, I've got a pencil. I'm going to turn my paper, and from the corner I'm going to measure an inch. And I'm going to remember that I don't measure from the end of the ruler, I measure from the first line on the ruler. That's actually the 0. So that first big line with the number next to it is going to be my 1-inch mark. I'm going to do that at the top and at the bottom. Then I'm going to connect those two lines. Remember, I want to go a little bit below my marks because the pencil has some width to it. So if I'm a little lower than my marks, my pencil is going to hit right on top of them. So now I have a 1-inch mark across the top of my loom, what's going to be my loom. So then I'm going to take my ruler again, lining up with that 0 mark again, and I'm just going to mark every inch. Now standard paper is 8.5 inches wide, so this is going to mean I'm going to have beautiful little marks every inch, and then just a 1/2 inch over here. I'm not going to worry about that. It's going to be fine. Then I'm going to do the same thing at the line I just made. And I want to make sure I'm starting from the same side, that I didn't flip my paper around, because we have that funky little 1/2 inch hanging off the edge. So if I flip my paper around, all my lines are going to end up diagonal. I mean, which might look cool, but it's just not what we're going for right now. So we're going to connect those lines again, going just a little bit below. I'm kind of going a lot of it below because this is quite a fat pencil. It needs sharpening, and it's really a pencil for dark shading, not really drafting like we're doing. But it's kind of nice for a video because it's very easy to see. So just connecting all those lines. My paper is still folded. That's actually quite important. Ooh, for our next step, I got a little wiggly there. I'm gonna try that again. Otherwise, I'll end up with a slightly crooked line when I weave later on, and I know that's gonna bother me. So my loom is now looking like this. I've got this band at the top, and then I've got these lines down to the fold. Now I forgot to grab scissors, so I'm gonna do that. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut these lines, and I'm gonna stop when I get to my line. So you get to watch me do part of that because I didn't manage to get my camera up high enough to actually show you the whole frame, because I have a very janky setup of like some baskets balanced on some books and then some metal rulers supporting my camera, and it just maybe not the best scene, but hopefully it will get the job done for us. I'm being careful not to cut past my line at the top, because if I do that, my paper is just going to fall apart into spaghetti, and I'll have to start over because I just can't use that as a loom. And if I made that area at the top 1/8 of an inch or 1/4 inch, or, you know, just generally thinner than 1 inch, when I'm weaving and my paper is undergoing a little bit of abuse, it's very likely to tear. And that will make me unhappy, because then I'll have to start over again. And I don't like starting over again. I just want to do it once. Okay, so now this is what my loom is looking like. My fold is down here. My open part of my paper is up here. Loom, peekaboo. And I've got all these strips. So if I unfold my loom, and since I already started writing vocabulary on the other side, I'm just going to flip this over and around. So this is my loom, the whole thing, this whole paper with all these like strips in there. These strips have become what is called warp. Oop, I'm going to use capitals. W-A-R-P. Ah, that's 2 R's. I don't have an eraser over here, so we're going to try again. W-A-R-P. I can't talk and write at the same time. So this has become warp, like warp speed ahead. Get ready to learn some fun fact science fiction stuff. They call it warp speed because the idea is that you're folding space and you're taking a shortcut instead of going all the way across. So this is our warp. This is our warp. And what's going to go in between here when we are weaving is called our weft. And those are our main vocabulary words for weaving. We've got the loom, which is the tool that we use to weave on. In this case, our warp is part of our loom. And then once we bring in our materials, that will be our weft. I'm going to leave it for there, and we'll get your looms made, and then we'll be ready to weave.